time to push himself off the sill and sit heavily on the stone bunk as the interrogators came in. In the quadrangle below, another name must have been discovered on the list, and this fifth one, perhaps from surprise, was not going quietly. His shrieked pleas grew in volume and urgency until they began to stutter, and Alefret knew the man was struggling so that the knife could not be placed into a useful spot. The screams were so loud that, for a moment, neither Alefret nor his captors moved, as if ordered to wait for silence to proceed. Silence fell. They took Alefret by his arms, 2 panting men on either side, and dragged him unresisting down the hallway. They always interrogated him before the ministry of his wasps, otherwise it would be a waste of good pain. At each session he said, "I am innocent of all crimes," and invariably they replied, "You are not." Always the same song, a call and response, like the songs of his village, long outlawed, blurred by recollection. "No, you cannot speak, only write, here, now, now." The walls of the room where they questioned him were still lined with schoolbooks and diagrams, kept, Alefret thought, only to retain what warmth was generated by the torturer's brazier. The interrogators were cold, too. Sometimes their icy fingers were more startling than the instruments, though not often. The brazier itself was laughably small, like dollhouse furniture, and reminded Alefret of the jury-rigged stoves they had made in the city in its last days. You did not even have to chop wood. You fed the flames with broken-up pencils and the covers of books snipped into postage stamps. While they interrogated him, he studied the diagrams of eyeballs and skeletons, colour-coded hearts, in rushes the red blood, out the blue, a plant cell as big as a bathtub, its jelly filled with things whose legends Alefret did not need to read, the nucleus, a chloroplast, a dropped shawl studded with beads, endoplasmic reticulum. The worst was a poster of pregnancy, everything luridly red and pink and bisected down the middle from brain to knees, right through the tender breasts, the adamantine womb, which is stronger than any other thing, and a baby, neatly folded, eyes closed. As his blood spurted or his skin sizzled, Alefret often directed his thoughts to the baby. "Don't be born, little one. You will be born into war. Keep your eyes closed. Face away." He often thought, "I am only sorry that you must hear this during your impressionable time. I hope you are not too affected by it." He often thought, "They will kill me. Don't look." In practical terms, how did one incarcerate people out there on the wrong side of the front whilst remaining unremarked upon by the foe? Alefret never had cause to ponder the question. It seemed frankly ridiculous to throw your own people in prison when there were, to put it mildly, more pressing concerns. But the answer, in which he was now ensconced, struck him as surprisingly sensible, in strictly logistical terms, that is. St. Nenotinus's School for the Correction of Minors, and he had guessed from the name that if you could not be corrected here, you would be buried out back. To reform you, they would break your spirit or teach you to dissemble, one or the other, not both. In which case, perhaps it was for the best that it no longer held any students, only such persons as himself. He had been told many times by many people that he needed to be corrected, reformed, rehabilitated, remade. Even in its abandoned state, Alefret could barely imagine the destinies of the pupils this school would have eventually matriculated. His mind's eye conjured sickening generations.